Welcome to EduClubTV. Welcome to Map My Study. MapMyStudy.com is one of the most popular online platforms for college admissions for students. A lot of them come online and take admission online. Students can apply to 25 different countries, 2,000 plus different colleges globally, and into 20,000 different streams. So a massive choice is given by Map My Study Online. As part of our initiative, we've been reaching out to very senior delegates in the Indian education and the international education sector, trying to understand their challenges in the last 18 months and trying to understand what their next plans are. It gives us all a very good perspective of where we stand and how we can now reach out to students and parents and maybe plan our future businesses ahead. In this, today we have Ms Sunita Nagpal, who's the principal of KR Mangalam World School. I'd like to invite her today and have an engaging discussion with her and understand her perspective.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Ms Nagpal. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm good. Thank you.
Look, I'll thank you very much for your time today. It's really an honor to have you with us. You've had almost 3 decades experience in the schooling industry, in the education sector, both as a teacher and also as a principal. Can you give us a little bit more details about yourself and KR Mangalam, the school where you are heading right now?
Sure, Pushpinder. So I, of course, joined this education sector over 3 decades ago. At that time, I almost stumbled into it, if I may be allowed to say so. But I think that was the most beautiful thing that happened in my life. Working with students has been more than fulfilling for me. It's been a journey of learning right through, and in every role that I have played in the last 30 years, I have learned a lot, and I have stayed young, if I'm allowed to say so. Being with students, you seem to move with the times, and you can never get outdated. And it's been really wonderful. When I was a teacher for almost 18 years, I was a teacher, and I taught all age groups, and it was wonderful. And then I thought it was time that I took on the role of being in a position where I can implement ideas, implement my vision, and so I moved into administration. First as a headmistress and then as a principal, vice principal and principal. So it's been like, I've done all the rungs of the ladder. So it's wonderful, and I feel that we can really be change makers in this position. So with KR Mangalam, KR Mangalam World School, Gurgaon, I have been here for almost 3 years. Prior to this, I was with DPS Sushant Lok as its principal, and it's wonderful. KR Mangalam World School, Gurgaon is an 11-year-old school, but in this short span of time, it's amazing how it has made a name for itself. We offer the best to the children, be it scholastic or co-scholastic. And talking about scholastic, I can say that we boast of a 90% class average in our board results. And talking about co-scholastics, we have state-of-the-art facilities in sports in our school. We offer even things like shooting and golf simulators, and of course all the other sports fields, the turf for lawn tennis, etc. So the children have a lot of opportunities, and of course I strongly believe that a child's persona, it takes formation in the school. And so we must expose them to as many opportunities as possible. So at KR Mangalam, we are doing all that and more.
So that's very rightly said. So, you had mentioned about your transition from a teacher to a principal. What was that? I personally want to understand, what was that one challenge that you had coming from the teaching line and then moving towards more of the administrative side of it? You lose the teaching side of it. You suddenly come to a much more challenging role as a principal. What was that one challenge you either overcame or was difficult for you as a transition?
So, Pushpendra, you will be surprised. It wasn't a challenge. It was actually a huge help. Having been a teacher, you understood the mind of the teacher. You understood, and you had a very, very open perspective. Whatever a teacher faces, I knew before I took on this role. So, in fact, it was not a challenge. I would say it helped me in my role as a leader. Like, what would the right expectations be in order to have the best delivery? So,
that's great. That's great.
I don't think there was any challenge there.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I understand. You would now probably be a better person to understand both perspectives of probably the team that you were part of a few years back. What is your leadership style there? Can you?
So therein lies my leadership style. I'm more democratic, I think, as a leader, and I engage with all the stakeholders in order to get the best out of my working style and for the organization. So I don't know if I can be presumptuous enough to say that it's a transformational style, because I believe that if you empower all those who work with you, not under you, all those who work with you, the organization moves ahead and moves in a better direction. So if there are decisions to be made or some challenges that we are hurtled with suddenly, I never take any decision single-handedly. I never do that. I engage with my immediate subordinates, that is my team, and we thrash it out and we sort it out, and I empower them, because I do delegate certain roles, and I'd like to decentralize my authority in that sense.
Okay. All right. Now that's well said. So in your school currently, you have all three streams. I assume it's science, arts, and humanities. Is that you're in Gurgaon, all big metro, very driven, very IT driven kind of a culture. Do you see an inclination or a drive towards any particular stream with students and parents, or?
So actually, streams, CBSE also does not mandate any streams. Yeah. All right, we are a CBSE school. CBSE does not mandate any streams. These streams are all made by us. By us, I mean the students, the parents, the teachers, the school. We have somehow, for our convenience, divided ourselves into these streams of science, commerce, and humanities. Luckily, in KR Mangalam, here, we have a very even balance. So you were talking to me about Gurgaon being the IT hub and children probably wanting to study only those subjects that would encourage them to take such careers in future.
Yeah.
I don't think any subject actually leads you to a particular future. You can be very good at certain skills, and you can still achieve a career in that field. Yeah. Definitely, if you want to be a doctor, you have to study biology. So there's no escaping that. Right. But I personally feel that a child must follow his dream or his passion. So that should help the child decide what stream he falls into. Okay.
No, I understand that. And I think where I'm coming from is a perspective where we know in the current scenario, it's all very outcome driven. And we've seen that in different cities, the perspective is different because there's a lot of peer pressure, there's a lot of parent pressure saying that, I want my child to be more towards the IT or the sciences side of it. And that's we've seen with, and as a school, you can only try and maintain that balance, but there's always that pressure from parents and students. So you see that there is, you said, there's an equal balance between all streams, which is surprising because my perspective was that being in Gurgaon or Delhi NCR, we see a lot of parents pushing it for sciences, and you don't see that in your school though.
No, very surprisingly, over the last 4 years or so, I have seen my humanities stream the heaviest.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very good.
Yeah. And commerce, of course, as heavy. Science, we have, they may be a little lighter than the commerce and humanities section. Now, that is not just a surprise element over there. Over the years, when we talk to children, we expose them to all kinds of avenues and openings.
Right.
So we have very informed choices made when a child chooses to take humanities also. So I think that has helped also. And we have some very brilliant students opting for very, very diverse careers that are not limited to engineering or medicine or IT. And in fact, for doing IT, I mean, you don't necessarily have to, like we've learned, you don't necessarily have to have studied all the sciences. So
yeah.
That also does help. So you need to get your parents and your students made fully aware and informed about what are the avenues. So there, I think then children will not be so pressurized about forcibly taking something that they wouldn't have wanted to.
Yeah, no, I understand. And so my next question is a lot to do with our past 18 months of challenges that, the school industry and everyone and the students and parents have gone through. I'm assuming there's that technology bit that's helping us to do it. Were you able to implement when we all had to suddenly move into teaching from homes and, learning mode changed completely from studying in the school to your homes were? How was KR Mangalam able to manage that? Were your teachers able to manage the technology side and the teaching side as well? What was that challenge that you had?
Yeah, you're right. You spelt it out correct. Suddenly, the whole world was thrown mid-ocean into a complete virtual world. And like they say that the doctors have been Corona warriors, teachers have been called Corona angels. And it was so overwhelming that overnight teachers were more than willing to upskill themselves. And everything went into sixth gear. And overnight we were training our teachers. Microsoft was helping us out. Many others, they were helping us out with free workshops for teachers. And there were teachers who were genuinely handicapped initially. And they learned from each other. Nobody was willing to not teach even for a day. And if you recall, COVID happened exactly at the turn of the year for academics. Yeah. And so we could not escape it. We just had about 5 or 6 days in hand. And we had to show the world that we can do it and that learning will continue and nothing can stop it. So teachers were upskilled, were trained, a lot of professional development happened. I'm sorry about that. A lot of professional development happened, whether it was done by the IT teachers of the school or by organizations like Microsoft. teachers learnt new tools, they were very, very excited. I mean, it's instead of demotivating or demoralizing them in any way, this situation actually got them excited. And so they learnt from each other, and gradually over a period of say about 2 months, they learned to use all the tools that were in the scanner. Name it, Padlet or whatever, like Google Forms and things like that, and how to get the children to be alert in classroom, knowing fully well that they've logged in, but they are not present. So teachers found ways and means of getting the children to respond, and learning went on. Learning continued. The only doubt that we may be having in our minds still is, when we are assessing them, are we sure we are getting the right assessment of the child? So there came in the role of the parents, and we conducted a couple of workshops for parents also, trying to tell them what are the challenges the teachers are facing in the classroom, and that the parent must be presuming child is very much sitting in front of the camera and the screen and in a class. The teacher knows the child is logged in, attendance done. But still, whether the child is present or not and is absorbing what the teacher is teaching, we could not be sure. So our parents have been outstanding. They have supported us when we wanted them in the classroom. They have entered the classroom also, to ensure that the child is actually learning. But it's not really, it would be very utopian to say that, it's like all hunky-dory. Everyone is trying their best. The whole world is actually struggling with this. It's not us alone here at KR Mangalam. So I think we'll all come out of it stronger and having learned many lessons.
No, I agree. And I think, like you said, it's a learning curve for all of us. No one ever assumed that you're going to start teaching students on a technology mode, and so, we've seen the use of technology far more now. I think we've all started with the smart classes, but this has taken us to a different dimension altogether. Now, teachers being tech savvy, training them and working through this. Look, as a school, and I think this is before pre-COVID and also maybe the future, we both know that technology is playing a very key role in the high school sector and also eventually also the university sector. What do you think of technology as a use? Where is that balance, or how do you blend that modern technology with the traditional style of learning?
See, technology, the IT world is the way to go, all right?
Yeah.
And the digital world is the way to go. We all know that. As adults, we have better sensibilities, so we understand the pros and the cons, and we take it from there, and we actually take advantage of the pluses. As children, they are still, forming their sensibilities and are still not, still trying to, gamify the whole thing.
Right.
So the balance that we need to strike is for the children to understand that if learning has to go on even for the next, God forbid, even for the next year or so like this is it. You can't miss out. You can't subtract these 2 years from your life, from your school life. So we have worked on that and spoken to children and their parents a lot about this. And we know that digital tools are going to be used lifelong for all of us. So even as teachers, we are very, very sure that we are not going back to where we were in February 2020. We are going to hybridize our teaching styles also. We will take out the best from the tools that we have used now, which we were forced to use now, and incorporate them in our physical teaching world as well, when they come back to school as well. So that is the big advantage I see. That and suddenly everything has got digitized, and we know it's so easy to function like this. On a lighter note, people have realized that you need not even go to office, and yet office runs. So you don't have to hire a space for an office runs. So that, of course, on a lighter note, schools do need children to come, because in school you're not just gaining knowledge. You can gain that at the click of a button, IT. But you're gaining social skills, you're gaining other, your persona is developing. And for those things, they need to get back to the physical world. But I think we'll have a very good blend. Already we're beginning to learn that. We've started online as well as offline classes, a hybrid mode, a dual mode maybe. That's a better term for it. So some children have opted to come to school. Okay. And very few of them, because the Haryana government did allow and said that the children should come. So with parents' consent, we have a couple of children coming into the classroom. The teachers using the smart board. The teacher's smart board is being screen shared for those who are attending from home. So it's the best that we could formulate, and it's working, but it's not what we want for always.
No, well, yeah, I totally agree. I think you need to have the human touch point. You need to be face to face. You need to meet. Socializing is also a very important part of that skill development, as we say, within the school. All of us have done that. Given a choice, if somebody says the school's closed for 3 months, we would have been jumping around. But in reality, we would miss our friends and saying, "What the hell? I'm not even coming out of my house now." That's a different perspective, and I think we will have no choice but to live with what we probably do not know happening next year or how it's going to be. So, what do you think? I want to touch base on the new NAP, and there's that vocational component that has been suggested to go into the schools, or vocational programs or deliveries. What is your thought on it, and how do you think that's going to really benefit the schools or the children?
So it's wonderful. The national education policy is, of course, all encompassing. It takes into account the last mile. It takes into account the remotest of areas of the country. We, of course, would say we are the privileged top at the peak, So the fact that NAP has introduced vocational training and skill subjects, it's great, it's wonderful, because I cannot imagine a child in a village in a Baripada having the facilities that a student in KR Mangalam has. All right. So if there are skill subjects, vocational subjects, we know that that child in that remote Baripada is going to stand on his own 2 feet. So also, having said that, even in schools like ours, we are all inclusive. So we have students of all levels of intellect, and we have special children. And it is wonderful that CBSE has included all these subjects, that the new education policy has given the opportunity for all boards to have these subjects being taught in schools. So it is, of course, a wonderful move. It's great. And, subjects like painting and all, in our schools, we have many children opting for them. Children opt for painting, children opt for IT. So FIT is a subject in class 10, which is a skill subject. And it's very good, to form a base. And entrepreneurship, these are subjects that are offered as it is. So now there will be many more. So
there'll be many more. I think personally, I feel that I personally feel that I think this will open up a lot more different avenues for the students to explore. I think that's if it's not like a mandated thing, but still it'll let them explore a lot new avenues, maybe a different career choice, maybe not driven just towards science or commerce, maybe look at something else.
Oh yes.
I think long drawn. I think it was so that way. I think children will have a much better exposure at a very early age.
True, very true.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question, which is where we see a lot of Bollywood movies now also made on career choices, the odd choices we take, and then we kind of say, hey, look, I didn't want to become an engineer, I should have been a photographer, or things like those. Maybe the vocational will help them better understand what their future course should be. But I wanted to ask you if, as a school, do you have any mechanism or do you have any system in place where you are able to understand and guide students on better career choices? I know teachers play a very important role there. Are they equipped to now educate children or advise them in any way? Or
so, in our school, we already offer the children a 4-year career guidance program.
Right.
And it starts in grade 9. And we have qualified career guidance experts who first open the eyes of the children and the parents. So there are workshops for parents, workshops for children, where a lot of talks are given on the various avenues that are possible, various careers that are possible. Why we start in grade 9 and spread it over 4 years is because, the child has to then accordingly pick up a subject. Yeah. And so all these talks give them that initial exposure. After that initial exposure, then they have individual sessions with the career counselor, wherein there can be an aptitude testing, there can be a lot of discussion where the parent, the child, and the counselor sits together.
Okay.
So this kind of stretches over 4 years: 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And in 12th, of course, it helps them with the colleges, etc. So the program has been working very well. This year, we did not have 100% participation in the program, but I know that the benefits reaped will trickle down. So this and the teachers. So we have psychology as a subject in our school. So our psychology teacher and our school's counselor, they also conduct sessions with the children to tell them that photography can be an option.
Right.
That they can choose careers that are very diverse. They can become a dance teacher also. So it's not as if the world ends with just taking up subjects that are going to lead you to the more browbeaten careers.
Right. So is this a voluntary 4-year program like you mentioned? Is it voluntary for students to join, or is it a mandate for every student to be part of that program?
So ideally it is a mandate, but things shifted gears last year. Okay. So last year when COVID happened, we made it optional. But before that, it was mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they all engage with each other. They get a perspective what my friend is doing. Maybe I can do better, and I can open up new avenues.
So you will be very surprised. Just a second. You'll be very surprised that during those talks, when in the presence of parents, when the counselor is talking about offbeat careers and that there is a possibility that you can survive in life without becoming a doctor or an engineer or a scientist, it's like, like eyebrows are getting raised all the time. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So and so survived. So and so did this. So it's always been wonderful. It's like eye-opening. And
Yeah.
parents have, sorry to say, but parents do tend to have blinkers because they've not really been exposed to everything. And so when a counselor, when a third party talks to you about it, it helps.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned rightly, and there's a lot of pressure because of the outcome. Every parent wants their child to do good in life, have a better source of income or good job. That's the safety net, so-called, that everyone's trying to reach out to with the education. But I think once probably the school and the teachers open up the eyes to say, look, as an artist, you can have a very good career, a good income source, and you can settle yourself down. And I think if that message goes to the parents as well, I think that's where the dynamic shift is going to happen a lot more. People will move away. The parents will not pressurize the children as much as to go to one particular stream, whether it's the commerce or it's the sciences. Is that rightly put? I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what these sessions help with,
Yeah. And that's good to see that as a school you're doing it so proactively.
Yeah. It's very, all parents try to live their dreams through their children, through their offspring. And why not also? The parent has a right to be ambitious for his or her child, but it should never become something that will hamper the growth of the child. So for the parent and the child to come on to the same ground, we as facilitators help them through these sessions.
Yeah, and that's very encouraging to see. So my last question to you for today, I think it's about your message to the aspiring students. Any one message or something you'd like to say to them during this last 16 months? Everyone's gone through a challenging time. What would your message be to them?
I've always said only one line, however cliched it may sound: follow your dreams and follow your passions. Don't ever succumb to peer pressure, to the environment. Follow and do what you want to do. Do what will give you some joy and happiness. Maybe you do not know exactly what's going to give you that joy. Don't worry, it's a path. Start treading it. If you find joy, carry on. If you don't, there's always a second path. It's not the end of the world that you have chosen a certain subject and now I'm doomed with this. It's not like that. We know of people who have changed paths at any age. At any age. I still dream of becoming an interior decorator. So and I think I will, why not? So it doesn't matter. And just do what you like to do. Have a dream, definitely have a dream. And if you can achieve it, great. If you can't, there's always a second path.
Yeah, very, very nicely said by you. I think if you had vocational training at our time and maybe your time, you would have probably chosen to be an interior designer.
Absolutely.
And I think the children have the benefit of making that decision rightly. So yes, thank you very much for your time, Ms. Nagpal. Thank you very much for coming today and giving us all this insight. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you, Pushpinder.
Thank you.